Hi guys, and today we're going to talk about JQuery UI. Well, at least I'm going to talk about JQuery UI. JQuery UI stands for JQuery User Interface, and it is a complement to the JQuery we've already learned. JQuery UI is a whole kind of series in and of itself. So I'm gonna go through JQuery UI in a couple of videos because I've been doing the JQuery videos, and let me talk about that for a second. Even though I've only done a few videos, I feel like I've given you a nice taster and a nice introduction to JQuery. That is useful for designers. Now, that's part of what JQuery was built for, to be useful for designers. And I do want to get more onto sort of the developer end stuff. But, just trying to do it on a page with examples isn't really very inspiring, so I can't do that until I find a better way to a more inspiring way to accomplish that. So, all I'm going to do is today I'm going to talk about JQuery UI and just give you an introduction. We've barely touched the iceberg with JQuery, but JQuery UI is a nice add-on to JQuery, so thought I'd go over it. JQuery UI, as the name suggests, is for building advanced user interfaces really easily, and it's for building dynamic user interfaces and doing things with the input. For example, you can build a drag and drop system super easily. Now, all the stuff you can do with jQuery UI, you could do with regular jQuery, but it abstracts it and makes it so that there's less code and it's easy to write. But there are some trade-offs which I'll talk about as I go through. So let's just dive in here. I've got a demo page set up here, which is our usual demo for jQuery, and it's just blank. And I'm gonna do my best today to show you some examples, and I may not actually show you anything today, but I'll just walk through with you, downloading it, getting it installed, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm at JQueryUI.com, which is a brother, if you like, of the JQuery website, and it says JQuery provides abstractions for low-level interaction and animation, advanced effects, and high-level themable widgets built on top of the jQuery JavaScript library that you can use to build highly interactive web applications. That's another thing I need to talk about for the designers out there. jQuery UI has a theme framework, and you need to build its own themes for it because of the way it builds its widgets. So if you want widgets or any kind of dynamic functionality like drag and drop or anything like that, JQuery UI is your go-to. Now, because you have to have jQuery and jQuery UI loaded at the same time, it's not super light on your server. So I wouldn't use jQuery UI just for one tab. But if you're already using jQuery, then you might think about using jQuery UI to complement and assist your existing framework. So the idea of jQuery UI is when you build a custom jQuery UI JavaScript file, so it only contains the stuff you need, so it's as lightweight as it can be. So I'm just going to go over to the website and hit build custom download. And again, make sure I'm getting the one that's the current stable version. So it comes up here, build your download, and I'm on the current stable version. And everything is selected. Now you'll notice that with everything selected, it's 299k. And note, always look at the figures for the minified version. But the 299k is gonna have to load. It's gonna have to load every time your page loads. So uncheck all the stuff that you don't want, because this is a demo. When I want all the stuff. But if you're on a production site, only use the stuff that you're gonna need. And look down here at the effects real quick. We've got fold, all this stuff, shake, slide, highlight, drop, click, bounce. But anyway, I'm just gonna download the entire thing. But another thing to note here is it asks you for a theme, and I said this has a theme of wall framework. There's quite a lot riding on the one you choose here to do with how your widgets display. You make your own widgets, but stuff to do. I'm just going to choose UI darkness, but later on I'll show you how to build your own theme when I learn myself. I should note also that other than the other tutorials, where I didn't get very far, I've never actually used JQuery UI, but I know a lot about this, so we're gonna kind of learn together as guys. Also note that it's 8 o'clock at night, and this is my literally 20th take of this video. But anyway, we're just gonna click download, and we're gonna save the file to our desktop. And wait while it downloads. It's gonna say download complete. If we now go over to Coda, our text editor here, and we go to our desktop, reload, it's I believe, hang on, I believe it, let's just look at where it puts downloads. It should put them on the desktop, I thought. We don't want to save it to a desktop. And now let's try downloading again. Sorry about that, guys. Again, this is a live experience, and because I'm kind of just doing this from scratch, this could end up being a really long video. Please note that, because I'm kind of doing it with you guys, and because my other ones haven't been successful, I just want to get this done. Okay, the download's finished. What we're now going to do is extract the file. And we've now got a folder with 4 items. If we open that in Coda, our text editor, and look at what it's going to say. We've got a number of folders here. We've got an index.html file, which we don't need. We've got, that's just a demo file. We've got a development bundle, which we don't need because we're not going to be developing on top of JQuery UI. Well, we are, but we're not going to be writing code for it. So we're left with JS and CSS. Now, CSS is where the theme is going to sit, and I picked JQuery Black, remember? But now let's include this on our page. First thing we need to do is upload the files into our folders. So first I'm going to upload the theme. This package actually contains the JQuery library, so you won't need to re-download that. But we're also gonna need to get the JQuery UI file. And once they both uploaded, we're going to move them into their respective directories. And we're going to include them on our page. So the first thing we need to do is include the JQuery library. So script type text JavaScript we're going to give it an src, and first we're going to point to JQuery. So that's in our JS folder. JQuery min JS. And we're going to close off script tag. So we've got JQuery loaded on our page. Now we need to load Now we need to load JQuery UI because you need to have both of them loaded. So this time we're going to load our file. And it's going to be what file name.js. Next thing we need to do is include our CSS file. Now let's first talk about this. What we're doing here is we're loading JQuery first, and then it's loading JQuery UI. Because don't forget, JQuery UI goes on top of JQuery. And next we're going to keep the CSS organized, but we're going to include the CSS file for our theme in the head section of our document. What we're going to do is put this before our style sheet. I know it's after at the moment, but I'll change that. And what that's going to do is make sure that any conflicting rules default to our style sheet. I'm going to include that file in there. The last thing we're going to do is, and that's going to be before our style sheet, so that any conflicting rules again default to our style sheet. And the last thing we need to do is set up somewhere to actually write our jQuery. So I'm going to do it in an external file, just because I figure if you're building an entire user interface, you're gonna do it in an external file. Pasted in there. And again, that ours is gonna load after jQuery UI is loaded, so we can use the stuff provided by jQuery UI. And instead of calling it that, we're gonna call it script.js. Imaginative, I know, but I can't think of anything else. So our index file is now all set up to load and use jQuery UI. Let's go ahead and just do the last thing here before we wrap up this video, because it's already gone on long enough. Create a new file. Scripts.js. And make sure it's alright. And the very last thing I'm going to do here is write a document ready function, because remember we have access to normal JQuery stuff as well. So we're now ready to start writing on JQuery. So that was the end of this quick video where we set up and prepared JQuery UI. Thanks for watching. Sorry it was long, and subscribe if you like my videos.